Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm here for another pregnancy update. It's so weird, I feel like I do these all the time. I think because I got so used to doing them every 2 weeks and now I'm doing them every week, it just feels like I'm constantly doing them. That's because the end of this pregnancy seems to be going really fast. So I am 34 weeks pregnant with twin girls. I'm going to try to make this update short and sweet, so let's just get into it. Okay, so as far as symptoms go, pretty much still the same, just struggling with heartburn and having to pee even more in the middle of the night than I was before, like even more. But I think that's because I am retaining a ton of fluid right now, and I'll get into that when I talk about my doctor's appointment. But my legs, feet, I'm retaining a lot of water right now, and so that I think is also contributing to me having to pee like double the amount I was before. As far as any new symptoms, I can't really think of anything new. I mean, I'm still just having the Braxton Hicks contractions, lots of pelvic pressure. Kind of jokingly told my husband that it feels like someone has taken an axe to my pubic bone, and like he did not like that analogy. He felt like that was a little graphic, but that's what it feels like when you try to stand up. I mean, it feels like, oh, someone is like splitting your pelvic bone. Which, you know, there's 2 babies in there putting weight on it, and Ivy is down really, really low down there. So she's putting a lot of pressure on my pelvic bone. So that explains that feeling. Babies are still moving pretty good. It's really challenging now for me to tell the difference between who's moving unless it's totally obvious, like really down low and to the left, I know it's Ivy. And if it's really up high and to the right, then I know it's Amelia. But a lot of the movements that come across kind of the middle of my belly, I'm not really sure who it is. And also, I still don't have any like new stretch marks. It's just my old ones are just continuing to like go higher and higher, and the skin really does feel like it's like ripping and tearing. Sometimes the skin like around my belly button and kind of up high here, it just hurts so bad. I mean, I definitely feel like some days that is my biggest complaint, is that I feel like my belly is like physically tearing, and it's quite uncomfortable. So let's get into my doctor's appointment. I saw the doctor first, and I'm not gonna lie, when she came into the room, I was like nearly in tears, and she's like, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, I put on 9 pounds since my last doctor's appointment. What the heck? She was like, "It's okay." You know, she's like, "Let me see your feet, let me see your legs." And she looked and she was, you know, started pushing. And I definitely have a lot of water retention, you know, kind of like edema in my legs and in my feet. You know, she would push in, it would leave like these white indents and stuff. And she was like, "Yeah, you have a ton of fluid on your feet and legs." And she's like, she said, "There's no other explanation for like a weight gain of that much, like 9 pounds in 2 weeks is not fat." She said that's fluid. So she was like, "Don't worry, it's okay." And you know, that's the kind of fluid that's going to come off within the first few weeks of the baby's being born. But I'm not gonna lie, I was still like, holy heck. I've just kind of gotten to the place where I'm not even really weighing myself anymore, because the number fluctuates so much with water retention up and down, that I'm just not even really gonna weigh myself anymore. I figure at the very end, like whenever I go into labor, or if I go in, you know, to be induced, then I will weigh myself then, so I have like a final number. I'm just not really going to pay attention to that because, like I said, it fluctuates so much, and it ends up kind of stressing me out, which is just silly because there's nothing I can do about it. I basically have 3 weeks left of this pregnancy. I'll get into that. I have 3 weeks left of this pregnancy, so yeah. Nothing I can do about that. Blood pressure was really good. It was like 104/60. She did measure my belly, and I am measuring 41 weeks. Yeah, definitely an explanation for the discomfort. And she told me that once I start measuring like 42, 43 weeks is when your belly starts to just kind of go out to the side. You can't really go out in this way anymore or something. She was like, you'll start to grow out to the side, which I'm already noticing that the girls are kind of filling in more on my sides than out. Still growing out though. I measured my belly this morning around to the farthest out point, and it was measuring 46 inches. Anyways, Yeah, so my fundal height was 41 weeks. Yikes. She did say because the girls are kind of so packed in there and it's difficult for me to tell who is who, she wanted me to do weekly biophysical profiles instead of weekly NSTs. So I already had an ultrasound scheduled for that afternoon, and then for my next 2 appointments they went ahead and added ultrasounds to those. So biophysical profiles are just a little more in depth, where they look at fluid levels and blood flow to, from the placenta to the baby. They check the cord, all that kind of stuff. They just get a better picture of what's going on inside of there versus just listening to heartbeats and monitoring for contractions. They kind of just take a closer look. And I did biophysical profiles a lot with Kennedy when she was, when I was pregnant with her, because she was at risk for IUGR because she was in a very, very low percentile. So that was kind of my doctor's appointment. Everything, like I said, went pretty fine there. Well, then I went and had lunch with my friend, which is so nice to get to see her. I don't get to see her much, but I got to see her because she works at the hospital. And so I got to see her, and we had lunch, and then I went up to the maternal fetal medicine office to have, to see the high-risk doctors there to have my follow-up ultrasound. Honestly, I was really just expecting it to be like, yeah, there's no change, everything is fine, everything is good, whatever. I wasn't... That was really what I was kind of expecting. So we did the ultrasound and, got to see the girls. They're not moving nearly as much as they used to. At ultrasounds before, it was like they were constantly kicking the probe and like going nuts. But I just don't think they can move that much in there. So they were pretty calm. So she took a look at Ivy first, who's baby A, and she said, that her fluid looked good and everything. She was measuring really small though. Only in the 18th percentile. So she was kind of like, eh. So then they went on and looked at Amelia, and her heart looked great. As you guys know from before, that was a concern. Now it's been 3 weeks since we've heard any kind of arrhythmia. So I feel pretty confident that that's mostly cleared itself up. That's awesome. They looked again at her brain, at the dilation in her ventricles, and that was still there. Wasn't really sure how much detail I wanted to go into about this. There's just a couple things. There's just some stuff going on. They can't really give me some answers. She also has really high amniotic fluid, which they did not like either. The doctor came in and we talked about a lot of different things. I think Amelia was measuring in like the 30th percentile at this point. So the doctor came in and basically just said that they still don't know what's causing this dilation in her brain. There are lots of possibilities. Some of them nothing, some of them verge on like scary. I'm not, trying to emotionally prepare for what that could mean. Just lots and lots of unknowns, and unfortunately we won't get answers until she's born. So after she's born, she'll have to have a scan done of her brain. They need to get a closer look that they can't look at in an ultrasound through my belly and all that stuff. So one of the concerns, again, with ultrasounds can be off on measurements. I know this, so it's not that they're panicking or anything because she's just measuring a little small. The issue for Ivy, is both girls are measuring on the small side, as well as the fact that their growth curve is dropping. So what they were measuring and then how they're measuring now, they are still growing, but where your child falls on the growth curve matters more than what they actually weigh. So if you've ever had a child that's born really small, they watch more that they're following a good curve than that they are in the 50th percentile or in this percentile. So that's more of the issue with the girls right now, is that their growth curve is kind of dropping. And with twins, these are all things that are risks. Even though they have their own placentas, my body could be fueling one of the placentas better than the other. That's why that kind of stuff is a concern. They want to make sure that Ivy is still getting nutrients and things that she needs, even though it's not like it's her sister that's taking it from her from the placenta. That's not what's happening. But her placenta itself might not be functioning well. So with all of this going on, like I said, I'm just gonna, there's no point in me going over every little detail that they shared with me and what all the possibilities are. And like I said, some of them are nothing to, you know, terrifying. The high-risk doctor would like me to deliver by 37 weeks. She feels like at that point the girls are safer out than in. So they will be scheduling me for an induction at 37 weeks. I don't have that date yet. Of course, that's if I don't go into labor on my own before then, which I don't know that I am. I don't know that I will. I've had so many Braxton Hicks and they've never led to anything. I don't know. I think I might make it to that 37-week induction date. But the big kicker is that, so over the next, that's 3 weeks from now. And over the next 2 weeks at each of my appointments, they're going to do biophysical profiles. And if anything has taken a turn for the worse or looks more off, then I could end up being induced then. So I kind of have to be prepared for anything at this point. If I were to go in next week for my appointment on Tuesday and they were to see that Ivy did not grow enough from the last time, or said the kind of issues with Amelia having too much fluid, too high of a fluid volume, things like that. There's just lots of little things they're watching. So I feel like I'm preparing myself for anything, because at any point we could go in for these appointments and these biophysical profiles and they could say, oh no, that's too far outside of the realm of normal that we're not comfortable with and we need to get you delivered. So at this point, at 34 weeks, the babies would obviously still need some NICU time, but it's, you know, we're not talking about like, you know, extensive long stays or anything like that. So at this point, I'm comfortable with whatever the doctors decide based on that information. The girls they're safe. They're safe. They'll be okay on the outside. So if they feel like they need to come, obviously I wanted to go to full term and, you know, kind of have this guarantee of take home babies. But even still, with everything going on, I could still, even at 37 weeks, not get take home babies if there's other issues going on. So right now we're just hoping and praying for the best. We're just trusting that God's going to take care of them and take care of me and get us through to the end here. And I have some sense of peace that everything is going to be okay. I do really think that it's very, very likely that most of these things are just, like I said, just outliers and just variations of normal that are all kind of coming together to create this, like, you know, oh, there could be something or it could be nothing. And I'm hoping and praying that it's just nothing. That's what it is. It's just nothing, and that everything is going to be totally fine. I am now spending the next 3 weeks trying to get everything done, you know, on my to-do list. Everything's ready for the girls. We've been ready for the girls. They're good, but just my personal work and stuff like that. To-do list, trying to get everything done while also de-stressing and keeping myself as calm as possible, and just kind of letting the last few weeks of this pregnancy play out and just enjoy it, savor feeling them move. This is my last pregnancy for sure, so I definitely want to enjoy and savor this last little bit of time, even though it's, you know, kind of riddled with discomforts. I definitely want to, you know, savor it, enjoy it, appreciate it, you know, the miracle that it is, and having both of them in here where I feel like, you know, they're tucked away safely in here. And we're going to be celebrating Rosie's birthday this weekend. As you guys know, she and I share a birthday. We both were born on July 30th. And so we don't want to risk that if I'm in labor in the hospital or recovering or whatever, we don't want it to throw kind of a monkey wrench in her birthday. So we're going to go ahead and celebrate her birthday on Saturday. We just want to make sure that she gets a nice fun day and is celebrated. And at that, if we wait until her actual birthday, I will be 36 and a half weeks pregnant. I don't know what I'm going to be capable of 2 more weeks from now, because like I said, I'm pretty darn uncomfortable. So we're going to celebrate her birthday on Saturday, which I think will be great and fun. These next 3 weeks are going to fly. I just know it. They're going to fly. I don't know how quickly I'm going to be able to get a video up on YouTube if I go into labor or if I have the babies or whatever. So if you want more like up-to-date information, you can always follow me on Instagram. It's just thisgatherednest. I've been trying to do more Instagram stories and stuff over there, but obviously I will be updating that while we're at the hospital and everything. So if you want to see that and you want to be more in the know as to when they're born and stuff, then definitely go follow us over on Instagram. I may do one of those pre-recorded I'm in labor videos so I can pop it up on YouTube if I go into labor on my own before the scheduled induction at 37 weeks. Do our darndest to get up a, even if it's just a 1 or 2 minute meet the babies really quick video after they're born, and we'll save all of the like birth vlog and all that kind of stuff for when I can get it edited and all of that. I won't make you wait for all that. We will introduce them to you in some kind of quick video as soon as we can. I'll show you a quick bump shot. All right, you guys, this is my 34-week belly. This is not a maternity shirt. It's not very flattering. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for following along this journey. We've got just a few more weeks left. Can't believe it. But yeah, subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys again very soon. Bye.